Okay, today we're going to learn how to make a countdown to summer. This is a countdown that obviously you can use for anything, whether you're going on vacation or you have a special event coming up. But because summer is around the bend, I know my kids always look forward to the end of the year. So I did a countdown to summer for my blog, and I'm going to show you how to make your own. So right now we're going to start in our PowerPoint. We're going to click on our blank presentation, and then we're going to resize. So we're going to go over to our design tab, slide over to our slide size, and we are going to add in our custom width, 8.5 and 11 height. And then I'm going to make this, they're going to be both in portrait mode, ensure fit. Okay, so clear your page. And the fun part of this, when I made this for my blog, is I actually used, I created my own background for it. So you can obviously download some graphics, some paper that you can throw into here, you know, using Creative Fabrica or Etsy graphics. However, I just wanted something that I could give away for free, which I can't do if I'm using other people's graphics. So I went ahead and made my own. So if you go to shapes, which is, this is my quick tab right here, you can find your shapes by going into insert, and then you go over to your shapes tab here. So you can use any shape, obviously. This is just kind of your own style, but the one that I used, if I can find it, is this one here. Just something kind of fun. And I went ahead and decided to use some colors that were already preset. I wanted them to be more summery colors, so I'm going to just use this light green and this light blue here. So what I did was I alternated the colors. So I started with my fill is the light blue, and then I changed the outline to light green. Now I do not like that it was a very thin outline, so I went ahead and just fixed that by going down to my weight, and I just changed the weight of it. We can make it as thick as you want, but I kind of like a little smaller. Okay, so then what I did, and this is just an easier process to show you how I made my background, is I clicked on the shape, I held the control button down, and then I pushed the letter C as in cat, and that copies the shape, and then the letter V as in Victor, and that duplicates it. So what I do is I just drag it over here, just a very short distance from the other one, and then I'm going to invert the colors. So my shape fill will now be the light green, and my shape outline will now be light blue. And the width of the outline is the exact same as this one because I duplicated this particular one. So I don't have to change that either. So now that I've got the design colors that I want, what I'm going to do next is I'm going to click on the first one, hold the control button down, and then click on this one. So now I'm holding on to both of these. So what I'm going to do now is group them. This is something that is again in my quick tab. So if you want to group yours, you can go over to home, you can go to arrange and group right there. Okay. So now I have these grouped. So what I'm going to do is it's already selected, this grouping. So I'm going to Control C and V, and I'm going to pull them down. And if you see these red lines on the page, it just kind of helps you line things up to show you the distance. And this is pretty much exactly the width part as the other one was. So I'm going to just do this again a few times. And these red lines just kind of help you line everything up. And I will show you another technique to make sure that they are properly lined when we're done. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to keep doing this all the way across to where it basically goes off the page. Okay, so now that these are all done, you're just going to select them all, and then you're going to go over to your arrange, and then you're going to go down to align, and there's all these different options of aligning what you have selected. So this one, we are going to distribute it horizontally, so we're going to make sure they're the equal distance apart from each other. Okay, and they should be all lined up vertically as well, but I'm just going to go through and make sure that they are aligned on the middle line there. Okay, and now that they are all done, they are all lined up, all grouped together, or all selected, I'm going to just go ahead and group them because I'm going to duplicate this entire line here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of eyeball it here. If you see, I have a, oh, now I can't think what the word is here. These lines here, these help you line things up on your page. If you do not have this already selected, you're going to go up to your View tab and you're going to go to your guide. That's what they're called, guides. And so you can do grid lines that can be a help to you. I actually used these when I first started making printables, but I stick with guides. That's just so much easier for me, and it's less on my page competing for my designs visually. It just helps me see it better. And you can obviously do a ruler if you want as well, which I rarely ever use that. But I just keep my guides up, and they stay up until I unselect them, so I really don't ever have to keep putting those back up every time I make a design. Okay, so now we have this lined up. This center guide will go red when I'm centered on the page, which I love. It just kind of helps me piece everything together. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate this entire selection here. So I'm going to Control C, V, and you see it just totally duplicate it. Now I'm going to just swap this around, okay? And this just kind of, okay, so you can do that. I honestly don't like the look of that. So what I'm going to do is, put it back to where it was. I'm going to go to my Arrange, Rotate, and I'm going to flip it. So now it's going the opposite direction. And that's what I wanted to see. So this is going one way, this is going another way, and obviously I want one more line here to go the same direction this one is. So I'm just going to copy this one, drag it on down, and eyeball it to make sure that it's pretty center here. So that's center. Let's see, is this one center? I didn't check. Okay, so it's pretty much separated distance-wise from each other equally, but you can always align it just to make sure, but I don't want to. So I'm going to select all three of these and group this together. So now I have my background, okay? And you can save this. This is what I do. So obviously this is a design I just created. So what I would do is if I want to save this as a PNG, which you can do a lot with it once it's a PNG, then you're going to save as picture. And then you can save it as a PNG, which is a portable network graphics. You can save it as a JPEG, which is a smaller file, so it's not as much on your computer. So there's lots of different things you can do with it, and you can reuse it, which is what I do. I save a lot of these little designs so I can reuse them later on down the road. The only thing is you can't change the color once you do, or at least not very easily. So so that's an option that you can do if you want to use this again. So I'm just going to go ahead and leave this right here. And then what I'm going to do is, you know what, I'm going to probably make this smaller, but we're going to, yeah, we're going to make this smaller. Okay, so we're just going to kind of put it right there. I want it a little bit away from the top. And then I'm going to go over here to my shapes, and we're going to pull, let's see, I liked this one here. This is the one I think I went with. So you just, nope, that's not the one I want. I'm going to try and stick with what I had. Actually, I think it was 32. That's what I wanted. Okay, so I have this shape. I mean, obviously you can do whatever you want, whatever shape looks good for you, but I liked how this one just kind of screamed like a summer sale or a clearance, or I don't know, it just kind of grabbed my attention. So this is how it automatically pops up. Color wise, I want to change this all up. So I'm going to make this shape fill white. Now I want to make sure that I actually use a fill, because if you go to a no fill, it just bleeds through whatever is behind there. So we want to make sure that's a different color. We're going to keep that one white. So I'm going to go ahead and let this stretch down to the ends, and then I like to kind of bring this one to the edges here. Okay, so make sure it's center, and then I'm going to do a shape outline, and you can make this whichever outline you want. I do want to make this a little wider. I want this to really pop. Now what I love to do when I'm layering graphics like this is I definitely like to give this a little pop. So what you're going to do is you're selected this shape here, you're going to go up to your shape effects, and you can do all kinds of things with it. You can make a shadow. You have your outer shadows, which I'm going to use. You can do inner shadows, and you can see what it's doing. It does a shadow effect perspective-wise. And you can do reflections. You can change the glow of it. This one is a pretty neat feature. Also helps it kind of pop off the page. This one adds a little bit of that, the soft edges here. You can bevel it, and you can do like a 3D thing. But I usually stick with just a shadow. Now, the nice thing is you can do some options with the shadow. So you can go here, and I usually stick with this one. This one's a shadow that's like you're looking straight down on it instead of at an angle. You can change the color of your shadow, and you can change the transparency. I like to kind of stick with, I don't know why 80 always just seems to look better to me. So I usually stick with 80. You can make the size of the shadow much wider than what it is. I just need it to be like there. That's good. You can do all kinds of things with it, angle it, blur it, and then obviously you have all your other options for what I was showing you up there. So you can do that right here when you do your shapes, or you can actually right click on whatever shape you want to do and format your shape, and that's when this pops up. And so you just you can play around with it, see what looks good for you. So that's what we're going to do. This will be our top page here. Then what I'm going to do is we're going to go ahead and add in our text box. So this will say countdown to summer. And obviously you can leave it, you can put countdown to Disney World or whatever you're doing this for. And you can leave it blank. You can do countdown and countdown to and put a line there. So that way it's, you can fill it in and print many of these off. It's totally up to you what you want to do with this. So we're going to go ahead and just do countdown to summer, just to kind of keep with what I was talking about. So I type it in. I'm going to readjust this. So I click on the text box, and forgive me if I'm going too fast. Especially if you're new to PowerPoint, this is something that I try to keep it going, so that way if you aren't new to it, you're not sitting here wishing that I would hurry up already. So I do talk pretty fast. Obviously, if you have any questions, and ask them in the comment box, and I will re-clarify for you. So I want this to be my text box. I center it, and I want it to be a lot bigger, but I want to make sure and use the font that we're going to use first, because the font sizes change with each font. So I like this one here. I think this one works great. This is going to, I think I used this one in all caps. I think I like that one better. And obviously you can change this up. So I don't want this to stay black, and I want it to be bigger. So we're going to make this just a little bit bigger. Gonna just center it here, and just for the sake of time, I'm just going to go ahead and just use, you know what, I think, okay, so we're going to make this one green, but because there's so much green going on, let's make it blue. But my thing of it is I still feel like that is just I don't know, I don't like the raw edge that this look, if that even makes any sense. So when my last one I did, I actually alternated the colors, and I felt that looked really good. I felt like it tied everything in together. And I can also shadow this if I felt like I wanted to. I don't think I will for countdown. I might do it for summer, and I'll show you a little bit why. So you can just add another text box right here. Underneath here for your next word. I do not like to, so watch what happens when I'm at the end of my word, I push enter, and then I go to type another word. You can do this, but it automatically spaces it, and you can't readjust the spacing. I like being able to move my words around, readjust them, so I try to kind of stick with one word in each text box. So you can start your new text box, or you can just copy and paste this one so you're already on the exact same font. You might just readjust the size which I'm probably going to stick with this one. And I'm not going to use this one as all caps either. I like to change it up a little bit. It just breaks it up for you. So this one will probably, just for the sake of time, we're going to make this one green. And then we're going to do one more underneath here. This one's going to say summer. And this one we're going to do completely different, and I'll show you why. So we're going to caps lock this one. And this one's going to be a lot bigger. I want this one standing off the page. So we're going to bump this one up, and it's going to really pop here in just a minute. So right now we have it as blue. And so we're going to actually take this particular one. We're going to format each one of these letters. So I have it already on my format here. It's already pulled up. So we're going to go to our text options, and it gives you the option to change the text fill and the text outline. So I'm going to highlight one letter at a time, and this is a little bit time consuming, but trust me, it really looks good. So I already have it on a solid fill, which is blue, so we're going to go ahead and stick with that as our first letter. But I'm going to change the text outline. Oh, you know what? No, that's not what I did. So you can do this. You can, let me just show you really quick. You can change the outline. If you see here, the outline is now green, okay? And then you can switch this one just like we did with these. So you can do that. I think that actually looks pretty good, but later on, after I was actually done doing all these, I found a way I liked better. So I'll show you what I did. So I go back to solid fill, and I change this to, oh, sorry. I did not. Okay. So we got to go back to, I was using the shape outline, not the text. So we're going to go to text options. There we go. We're going to change this one to white. Okay. So now you see what it looks like here. It is now white fill inside, and then the outline is green, which I'm going to change that to blue. Okay. So I'm going to also make the width of this a little bit, I like 1.75, I think. We'll just make it 2, just make it a little easier to remember, okay? So I'm going to alternate this. I am going to, this is just a little easier for me to kind of stick with the rhythm of what I'm going for, is just sticking with the every other letter and doing the exact same steps. So this is going to be white again. Solid fill will still be blue, and we're just going to pump it up to 2. Okay, now I'm going to go and change this one to white, solid line, and green, and pump this one up as well. Okay, and now we're going to do the green one over here. Okay, so I sped that up for you a little bit there, and now we have this all lined up exactly how we want it, and I'm going to make this even bigger. I really want it to kind of spread past the design in the back. Now I'm going to also add, I'm going to make these letters pop as well. So how you do that is you select your text box, you go over to your text options, and you're going to go over here to your shadows, and you're going to you can actually shadow your letters. See now how that really pops off the page. I think that looks super good. So I'm just going to pull these up here a little bit, and you can kind of play with it, just see what looks good. Okay, so after you get this down where you want it to go, you're ready to go, and then you're ready to just fill out your bottom half here. So what I did is I used the exact same shape as this graphic over here, and I made these, I think I made them 1 inch. It depends. See, here's my thing. If you want to fill them in with a letter, or I'm sorry, a number, then, you know, depending on how many you want to fill out, you know, you're going to want to do this a little bigger. I think I did make these bigger, but I think we'll stick with the 1 inch just for the sake of time. So I want these to be cohesive, so I'm going to go ahead and make these shape fill is going to be white. I'm going to change the outline to green. And then I'm going to copy this one, duplicate it, and this one is going to be blue. Okay, so now that I've got this done, it's just easier to just kind of select them and move them along like this. Now I'm only going to do 7. Okay, and then you can line these up. You're going to select them all, go up to Arrange, Align, and you're going to align them in the middle, and then you're going to align them horizontally. Okay, so now they're completely lined up. I like to group them, then I center. Okay, so now that this is center, I'm going to do this a few more times. Now, depending on what you're counting down to, you can make this, let's say your vacations in 50 days. So you might want to do 50 of these, you know, or if you just want to do it for a month at a time. That's obviously going to be your prerogative depending on what this is for. But for someone like me who is making this for a free printable on their blog, I just kind of filled the page. And let me show you a quick technique when you're making something like this. Is you're going to take your top shape and you're going to take your bottom shape and line them up where you want them. Then you're going to select your other shapes, okay, including your top and your bottom. You're going to go up to your Arrange and you're going to align them. Okay, so you want them all center, and then you're going to align them vertically. And now they just line up exactly how you want them to go. And you're done. That is super simple. It was, now this one, I think I even altered it up a little bit where the blue, I staggered the colors, but you can do whatever you want. It's obviously up to you. And if you want to put your website down here, that's what I did for my blog, but it's pretty much ready to go. And you put your colors, you're going to Disney World, you know, you're going to want to do your red and your blue. I mean, make it completely uniquely your own. And you can sell these on Etsy, you can sell these on Shopify, you can sell these, you can give them away, you can just make them for your own personal use. Whatever you want to do, the sky's the limit. And that's hopefully what you're getting from these videos, is just seeing what you can do and just how much fun you can do with shapes. And you can change so many things up just using their shapes. And you can just play around with it, see what looks really good, and just kind of bring it down. And you know, there's just so many options. Just play around with it and look around and see what you like, see what appeals to you, and see what appeals to your buyers if you're selling them. So if you have any questions, I did go through this super fast, but if you have any questions, please, please, please add them to your comments, and I will get back to you as soon as possible. And if you want to learn more, you want to see other things that maybe you didn't know you can do in PowerPoint, subscribe to my channel, and you know, I'll put a notification bell, click that if you want to know when my next video is up, and I try to get them out as often as I can. So good luck on your countdown. I hope you have fun making it, and see you in the next video.